Imagine tuning into your radio during the dark days of World War II, only to hear the unmistakable voice of a man who had once called your country home, now broadcasting venomous propaganda from the heart of enemy territory. This man was William Joyce, notoriously known as Lord Haw Haw. His story is a chilling example of defection and the powerful impact of propaganda in times of war. As we delve into his tale and other similar figures, you'll uncover the intricate dance of loyalty, betrayal, and the ultimate price of treason. Let's embark on this journey through history, where we'll explore not only the actions of these individuals, but the profound lessons their stories hold for us today. Defection to Nazi Germany. William Joyce, a name that echoes through the annals of wartime treachery, defected to Nazi Germany at a time when his country needed unity the most. Known widely as Lord Haw Haw, Joyce became infamous for his anti-British broadcasts. His voice, dripping with disdain for the British government, was a weapon aimed directly at the morale of the British people. Picture this: you're huddled in your living room, the flickering radio casting shadows on the walls, and there it is, his voice, undermining the efforts of the Allied forces, attempting to sow doubt and fear among the listeners. It was a tactic designed to weaken the resolve of the British people, leveraging the power of media in ways that were both revolutionary and sinister. Joyce's journey to becoming Lord Haw Haw was marked by a series of radical shifts in allegiance. Initially a member of the British Union of Fascists, his extreme views found a new home in Nazi Germany. It's a stark reminder of how ideological beliefs can drive individuals to make choices that seem unimaginable. In today's context, think about the influence of social media and how it can be used to sway opinions. Just as Joyce used the airwaves, modern influencers and platforms can be used to shape public perception, a powerful tool in both positive and negative contexts. The story of Joyce prompts us to question the sources of our information and the motivations behind them. Living as an expatriate in Germany, Joyce's broadcasts were crafted to appear authoritative and convincing. He used idiomatic expressions and colloquialisms to connect with his audience, masking his venomous messages in a familiar voice. This tactic is a lesson in the power of effective communication. Whether you're giving a speech, writing a blog, or creating content, the ability to speak the language of your audience can significantly enhance your influence. Joyce's legacy is a dark testament to this principle. It's a call to arms for anyone looking to communicate more effectively. Understand your audience, speak their language, and your message will resonate deeply. Capture and execution. After the fall of Nazi Germany, the relentless pursuit of justice led to the capture of William Joyce. His arrest was dramatic. He was shot while attempting to flee. Imagine the chaos and fear in those final moments, a stark contrast to the composed and commanding presence he once projected over the airwaves. The fall from grace was swift and unforgiving. Joyce's capture is a vivid illustration of the inevitable consequences that follow betrayal and treason. It's a powerful reminder that no matter how influential one becomes, accountability and justice are inescapable. Joyce's trial was a spectacle, drawing significant public attention. The court proceedings exposed the full extent of his treachery. As he stood trial for high treason, the gravity of his actions was laid bare. For those observing, it was a lesson in the importance of maintaining ethical standards and the severe repercussions when they are violated. Think of it like a modern-day scandal where a public figure faces legal action for unethical behavior. The public trial served as a deterrent and a sobering reminder that actions have consequences, regardless of one's status or influence. His execution at Wandsworth Prison was the final act in the tragic play of his life. Executed by hanging, Joyce's end was as grim as his wartime activities. This chapter of his life serves as a poignant conclusion to the narrative of his betrayal. It's a dramatic testament to the ultimate price of defection and disloyalty. The story of Joyce's execution prompts us to reflect on the importance of loyalty and integrity in our own lives. Whether in personal relationships, professional endeavors, or civic duties, maintaining a steadfast commitment to ethical principles is paramount. Joyce's fate is a stark reminder of what can happen when those principles are abandoned. French counterpart, Jean Hérold-Paquis, often dubbed the French equivalent of William Joyce, represents a similar narrative of collaboration and betrayal during the tumultuous times of World War II. Just as Joyce did for the British, Paquis spread pro-German propaganda across France, utilizing the powerful medium of radio. His voice, much like Joyce's, became a tool of the Nazi regime, attempting to undermine the French resistance and sway public opinion in favor of the occupiers. Imagine the frustration and anger of the French people hearing a fellow countryman promoting the very forces that had invaded their homeland. Paquis' actions underscore the profound impact of propaganda in wartime. Paquis' early life set the stage for his eventual collaboration with the Nazis. Born in 1912, he faced the harsh reality of losing his parents at a young age, which perhaps fueled his quest for recognition and influence. By the age of 16, he had already made a name for himself as a journalist, showcasing his talents in communication. Transitioning to radio, he gained notoriety for his ability to captivate and persuade listeners. This period of his life is a testament to the power of resilience and adaptability. However, it also highlights how personal ambition, when unchecked by ethical considerations, can lead to devastating choices. During the German occupation of France, Paquis' support for Nazi policies became evident through his work on Radio Paris. His broadcasts promoted National Socialism and aimed to erode the morale of the French resistance. This collaboration is a chilling example of how media can be weaponized to support oppressive regimes. In today's world, it's a stark reminder of the importance of critical thinking and media literacy. As consumers of information, we must constantly question the sources and motivations behind the content we engage with. Paquis' story is a cautionary tale about the responsibilities that come with the power of communication. Early life. Jean Hérold-Paquis' early life was marked by hardship and a relentless pursuit of success. Born in 1912, he faced the devastating loss of his parents at a young age, a tragedy that could have derailed his ambitions. Instead, it seemed to ignite a fire within him. By the tender age of 16, Paquis had already stepped into the demanding world of journalism, quickly making a name for himself. His early success is a testament to the power of determination and resilience. Imagine being a teenager in the early 20th century, navigating the complexities of a burgeoning career without the guidance of parents. This background forged a path that would lead him to radio, where his talents would shine, albeit in a darker direction. Transitioning from print to radio, Paquis found his true calling. The allure of the microphone and the ability to reach countless listeners captivated him. His voice, filled with authority and charm, became a fixture in French households. It's akin to the modern influencers who leverage social media platforms to build their brands. Paquis' rise in radio underscores the importance of adaptability and seizing new opportunities. For those looking to make a mark today, it's a lesson in the value of embracing new technologies and media to amplify one's voice and message. However, as Paquis' story unfolds, it also serves as a reminder to stay grounded in ethical principles, regardless of how much influence one may wield. Despite his professional achievements, Paquis' early life was not without its struggles. The absence of parental guidance meant he had to navigate the challenges of adulthood largely on his own. This experience likely shaped his worldview and his eventual choices. It's a reminder that our backgrounds and experiences profoundly influence our decisions. For modern readers, it's a call to reflect on how their past shapes their present and future. Paquis' story is a mix of triumph and tragedy, illustrating the delicate balance between ambition and morality. His journey through journalism and radio, marked by both brilliance and betrayal, offers a complex narrative that invites us to consider the paths we choose and the legacies we leave behind. Collaboration. During the dark days of German occupation in France, Jean Hérold-Paquis became a prominent voice in promoting Nazi policies. His work on Radio Paris was a blatant endorsement of National Socialism, aiming to undermine the French resistance and bolster the occupying forces. Picture the tension and fear permeating French society, and then hearing Paquis' broadcasts, which were filled with pro-German rhetoric. This collaboration is a stark reminder of how media can be manipulated to serve nefarious purposes. For those living under occupation, it was a betrayal that cut deep, amplifying the psychological warfare already in play. Paquis' collaboration with the Nazis was not merely a passive endorsement, but an active promotion of their ideology. He leveraged his platform to disseminate propaganda, persuading listeners to accept and even support the occupiers. This is akin to modern media personalities who, through their influence, can shape public opinion on significant issues. Paquis' actions during this time serve as a cautionary tale about the responsibilities that come with a public platform. Whether in journalism, broadcasting, or social media today, the ethical use of one's influence is paramount. It's crucial to remain vigilant and critical of the information we consume and the motivations behind those who disseminate it. The ramifications of Paquis' collaboration were far-reaching, contributing to the Nazi regime's efforts to control the narrative and suppress resistance. His broadcasts were crafted to appear credible and persuasive, a testament to his skill as a communicator. However, this same skill was used to support an oppressive regime, illustrating the dual-edged nature of communication power. For modern readers, Paquis' story highlights the importance of media literacy and the need to scrutinize the sources and content we engage with. It's a call to be discerning consumers of information and to recognize the potential for media to be wielded both for good and ill. Paquis' collaboration with the Nazis ultimately sealed his fate, demonstrating the high stakes involved in the choices we make, especially in times of conflict and moral ambiguity. Capture and trial. Following the liberation of France, Jean Hérold-Paquis' life took a dramatic turn as he fled, attempting to escape the inevitable reckoning for his wartime actions. The pursuit of justice was relentless, and Paquis' flight was a desperate bid to evade the consequences of his collaboration with the Nazis. Imagine the tension and fear in those moments, knowing that the net was closing in. His capture, much like that of William Joyce, was a significant victory for those who had suffered under the occupation. It served as a powerful statement that treason and collaboration would not go unpunished, reinforcing the importance of accountability in times of war. His trial was a highly publicized affair, drawing attention from across France. As he stood accused of treason, the courtroom became a stage where the horrors of the occupation were recounted and the full extent of his betrayal was laid bare. This public spectacle served not only as a legal proceeding but as a form of catharsis for a nation recovering from the trauma of war. For those following the trial, it was a clear message that justice would be served. In today's world, think of high-profile trials that capture public attention and serve as a means for society to process and address grievous wrongs. The trial of Paquis underscored the importance of transparency and due process in upholding justice. The outcome of Paquis' trial was a foregone conclusion, with the evidence of his treasonous activities overwhelming. He was found guilty and sentenced to death, a verdict that resonated deeply with a country eager to heal and move forward. His execution at Fort Chantal at the age of 33 marked the end of his controversial and tumultuous life. Before his death, Paquis wrote a book about Nazi rule in Paris, a final testament to his complex and troubled legacy. This act of writing, even in the face of impending doom, reflects the enduring power of narrative and the human need to leave behind a record of one's existence. For readers today, it's a reminder of the impact our actions and words can have long after we are gone. Final days. In the final days of his life, Jean Hérold-Paquis faced his fate with a blend of defiance and reflection. Captured and condemned for his collaboration with the Nazis, he spent his remaining time grappling with the consequences of his actions. Imagine the solitary confinement, the weight of regret and realization bearing down on him as he awaited his execution. His decision to write a book about Nazi rule in Paris during this time is telling. It was an attempt to leave behind his perspective, perhaps to justify his actions or to provide insight into the complex motivations that led him to such a dark path. His book, written in those last days, offers a glimpse into the mind of a man who had played a significant role in the Nazi propaganda machine. This act of writing was not just about recounting events, but also about coming to terms with his choices. For modern readers, it serves as a valuable historical document, shedding light on the psyche of collaborators and the intricate workings of wartime propaganda. In the final days of his life, Jean Hérold-Paquis faced his fate with a blend of defiance and reflection. Captured and condemned for his collaboration with the Nazis, he spent his remaining time grappling with the consequences of his actions. Imagine the solitary confinement, the weight of regret and realization bearing down on him as he awaited his execution. His decision to write a book about Nazi rule in Paris during this time is telling. It was an attempt to leave behind his perspective, perhaps to justify his actions or to provide insight into the complex motivations that led him to such a dark path. His book, written in those last days, offers a glimpse into the mind of a man who had played a significant role in the Nazi propaganda machine. This act of writing was not just about recounting events, but also about coming to terms with his choices. For modern readers, it serves as a valuable historical document, shedding light on the psyche of collaborators and the intricate workings of wartime propaganda. It's a sobering reminder of how individuals can be swept up in larger ideological movements, making choices that have far-reaching and often devastating consequences. This period of reflection before his execution underscores the importance of critical self-examination and the enduring impact of our actions. As he faced his execution at Fort Chantal, Hugh's story came to a tragic end. At just 33 years old, his life was a stark reminder of the price of betrayal and the harsh realities of wartime justice. The execution itself was a somber affair, marking the conclusion of a life that had veered into infamy. For those witnessing his demise, it was a moment of closure, a final act of justice served. His final days serve as a poignant reminder of the human capacity for both great influence and profound error. It's a call to reflect on our own lives, to consider the legacies we are creating, and to strive for choices that align with our highest ethical standards. Conclusion.